two for the show. So buckle up, there's no telling where we're gonna go. A glory and fame, a silver and gold. So call us outlaws and leave the fortune for the bold. No more hesitating, we're legends in the making. The gravity escaping, light speed breaking. Let's get elevated. Let's get elevated. Oh yeah. A 5-4, a 3-2-1. We're gonna fly. We're headed straight for the sun. 5-4, a 3-2-1. We're gonna fly straight for the sun. No more hesitating. We're legends in the making. Gravity escaping, light speed breaking. Let's get elevated. Let's get elevated. Let's get elevated. Let's get elevated. It's explosive. I got metal running through my bones, a resurrection like a ghost. Hurricane, go ahead and blow. Where you could keep your white flag, I'll never fold. A shadow on a battlefield, a survivor never yield. A thunder, go ahead and shake. Don't run from the storm when I feel the rain. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. I got a fever in my blood, a falling embers from above. I feel the heat when the pressure blows, a wildfire that you can't control. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. With every beat of my heart, I'll be the light in the dark. You can't control this, I'm explosive. You can't control this, it's 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 explosive.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Our family started RVing a few years ago, and when I think about all those campfires and fishing trips and sporting events, these are memories that are going to last a lifetime. I want to help others do the same thing. Hi, I'm Kevin Smith, General Manager at the all-new CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater. People in this community are very familiar with this location and the great service they've always received. So the biggest question we get is, where is Keith? The great news is, Keith is still here.
I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Through all the changes that we have seen, one thing that has not changed for us is the quality of our service.
Buying an RV is a big purchase, but it should be a fun and happy experience. So whether it be in sales or service or parts, our mission is simple: be the best. From our team here at CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater, we invite you to come down and experience the difference.
Looking to the inside of Turner, trying to make it 3 wide down the back straightaway, nearly does.
Last night the track was very slick. You know, we had 2 good grooves.
But anyway, just another some of that.
There's people in the stands. That means there's people watching.
The Northwest CLICKIT RV Fix Series continues with the playoffs on LSRTV and the Community Radio Network. Okay, Charles, don't get mad at me. I kind of jumped the script, changed things around a little bit. I'm sorry. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. We're down to the final 2 races. This is the penultimate race of the season. If you tuned in to the wild fake RC PC, I'm going to get it right before it's over with Jason. The FEG PC Wednesday Night Big Money Series at Talladega. What a show that was less than an hour ago. We've had a chance to reset. I've got me a delicious beverage. Can you guess, Jason, what's in here? Can you guess what's in here, Jason?
Probably, if I had to say, a Dr. Pepper strawberries and cream or regular cream soda, or it's Pepsi.
Negative, negative, and negative. You struck out
Water.
all 3 times. It is Milo's sweet tea with lemonade.
I don't know
There
what
you
that
go.
is, but I'm just going to act like I know.
Anyhow, we welcome you to coverage. Where the hell are we tonight? Oh, we're in Vegas. We're in virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We're ready for the race we were Monday, where I was by myself, solo, by the way. We're here again tonight. And Jason, I'm so glad you're here. It sucks when you're calling a race by yourself. I did my best, what's his face? I can't even think of it right now. I did my best. I did my best to call the race. But, man, no doubt about it. What a fun show it is. But it's always great to have multiple voices to make it so much more exciting. But, man, obviously, Win Racing is got 3 out of 4 drivers into the championship 4. Devin West just beat out his dad by mere 2 positions on top 5s more than his dad did to make it into the playoff championship race. And now all of this culminates, Jason, for what we see in the CLICKIT RV Fix Series. There is no tomorrow. We're taking 4 drivers. And, of course, at least we do know right now, Dan West Jr. will be joining us for that championship 4.
Yeah, and Wesley, this is a very important race, obviously. This is the penultimate race of the season for us. And we already have 2 drivers locked in. We have Dan West Jr., who won just a couple weeks ago. Sean Brightsman won last week on a late race restart, took the gamble, did a completely different strategy in the pits with the 2 tires rather than the 4, gained positions in the pits, went into a late race restart. got it done, man, and now he's locked into the playoffs. And now that leaves us with only 2 more spots that are up for grabs right now.
That's right.
Jeff Stabnow, Paul Newton holding those positions. And get this, Wesley, 3rd back to 8th, only separated by 7 points. So it very well could come down to 1 position, 1 point out on this track here tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned the drivers that are Jeff Stabnow, Paul Newton. They're all right now on the bottom 2. We know Dan West Jr. and Sean Brightsman from Team LSRTV are going in to the Championship 4 coming up next week at Auto Club. But if you're guys like Jeff Stabnow, Paul Newton, don't overreach, kids, or I say adults because they are men. They could go out as fast as they're going in right now. And you got guys that are behind them like Ryan Gormley, Tyler King, Christopher White, Ryan Bloom that are hungry contenders that can literally pull an upset here and much less win these races. Good drivers as we go to on-track activity here at Las Vegas.
Yeah, definitely some good drivers, and obviously all 8 of these guys that are in the playoffs currently and the rest of the 6 remaining drivers that are up for these last 2 spots all have the capability to come out here and advance into this next Championship 4. I want to say, if I'm going to circle somebody here tonight, I want to say probably more than likely Ryan Bloom. Hasn't posted a single lap time yet from what it looks like in the practice session. But look at that, Wesley, -7 back from 4th place, or rather from that 3rd position. And he's only a couple points back from Paul Newton, obviously. So this is going to be interesting to see who gets through, who doesn't get through. But Ryan Bloom, he already advanced into that Championship 4 for the Monday series. Can he be a driver that goes back-to-back in Championship 4 appearances for the week?
You know what blows me away is just how fast this year has flew by. But also, in addition to that, Jason, there's so much consistency in this series that we've seen where multiple drivers, I think there's been 8 or 9 different winners of the races that we've ran this year. And obviously, the man that really has impressed me was Ryan Bloom, Jason. And look at him. He's on the outside looking in. He's in that last spot in the championship round of 8. The guy that dominated the entire year, if you will. 7 wins before the break now. Ryan Bloom could possibly be out of the championship hunt if he doesn't pull a rabbit out of a hat, miracle virtual-wise, tonight here at Vegas.
Yeah, very well. And I mean, it's going to be difficult, obviously, for him. I mean, it's going to be so interesting, for most of these drivers here tonight. I mean, this is no easy track by any means. I mean, you're going to have to get up on the wheel here tonight, and you're going to have to drive, and it's going to be hard. Remember, we talked about, Wesley, with these drivers about how all 8 drivers were going to be competitive. They were last week.
Sure.
They're going to be the same way tonight. If you're one of these playoff guys here left in the round of 8, you have to finish ahead of the competition. You have to pick up as many points as possible and hope your competitors have an awful day.
Do you think we're going to see some desperate moves, maybe some things that you probably would not do during the regular season, but since there is no tomorrow, Jason, we're going to see some drivers try to pull a rabbit out of a hat, if you will?
I think so, probably. I mean, you have to. This is your last opportunity. If it comes down to a race out of the pits with strategy, you have to throw something. If you know you don't have a car capable of making it into this Championship 4, you have to throw something out the window. I mean, look at Sean Brightsman. Remember, Wesley, he was kind of struggling here in this second half of the year. I mean, he's been advancing, don't get me wrong, but we very well could be talking about a very different scenario coming into tonight had he not have taken 2 tires, got the track position in the pits under caution, and then came out and fired off on the restart. So it just goes to show you that pulling something out of left field, out of the hat, as you say, could be what wins you here tonight. And what are we at, Wesley, here tonight? We're at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We're in Sin City, baby. This is where you got to gamble, put all the chips on the table, and roll the dice.
That's exactly right, man. And as they always say, what happens in Sim City or happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, no doubt about it. So, hey, let's take a look at the Hunt the Front TV race information. 1 fast repair, 100% fuel load, and 3 sets of tires for the drivers. 3 attempts at a green-white checker if need be. 200 miles, 134 laps of the mile and a half here. Tri-oval. That is the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. By the way, Jason, we were here Monday night for the Cup for the Truck Series penultimate race of the year, and not one single caution flag came out in the truck race. Could we see history repeat itself tonight with these cars?
It's definitely a possibility, I'd like to say. I mean, you just never know. It's a mile and a half. This race could be. You think back to Homestead, Wesley, we didn't have, I don't think, one single caution flag all night long. It very well could be like that here tonight. We're just going to have to find out. We have over 20 drivers registered in this session, so a little bit more, I want to say, than what Homestead was. But also this track, very tricky. You can really make these restarts really widened out, multi-groove in 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, and you can run bottom, you can run middle, kind of. It's all depending on how you feel here tonight with this fixed setup.
Take a look at the Kaufman Creative weather conditions here. Looking at the things tonight. Air temp at 68 degrees. Track temp 68. Wind speed at 8 miles an hour. And I'll be honest with you, Jason, I don't see this being a nighttime race. I think we're going to see daytime conditions here, which is going to be really, really cool because, they were right at dusk last Monday for the truck race. I think this race is going to be in the daytime sim tonight.
Yeah, I hope it's in the daytime just because, I mean, these guys have been practicing in the day. They're going to qualify here in the day. I mean, if they do, in fact, run this actually as a night race, which it looks like they're not going to, it would be completely different. But looks like we're going to be racing in the day, so it should be a fun time.
Virtual daytime is the right time, and look at this, ladies and gentlemen. A driver that has made it in to another championship round. Sean Brightsman won it last week at Kentucky to his outside Ryan Bloom, the number 8 seed, 7 wins on the year, front row here at Vegas. Kevin Smith, winner on Monday night, punched himself into the championship 4. Tyler King alongside in the 21. Row number 3, Joshua Marcy, and for Toby Ritters, there is no tomorrow. He's out of the truck playoffs. He's right now with the number. He's actually out of the run for this playoff seed as well, number 9 seed, but we're looking for a win. Dan Lowther, Ryan Gormley making up row number 4, 63 and 22. Ryan Gormley, by the way, on the outside looking in 1st and 5th. Dan West Jr., number 1 seed. He starts 9th, and Frank Harris, the legend, will start 10th here through top 5.
Yeah, rest of your field here down to your 23rd starting position. Row number 6, Stephen Paulson, Brett Johnson in the number 7. Row number 7 goes to the Catman and Gary Nichols in the number 8 machine. Row number 8, Stephen Bartlett, Christopher White, who is a driver who is trying to finish off the year with a great run, but needs to look into these next Championship 4 race here coming up next week. Row number 9, Carl Burke, Paul Newton in the 27 machine. Row number 10, you have Jeff Stabnow, Troy Daggett in the number 99 machine. Row number 11, BJ Tidrick and Ray Fournier in the number 26. And then in row number 27, or 72 rather, and then row number 12, Chris Kynes in the 20.
There's the lineup as the drivers get ready to roll in just a moment. And
what?
Oh, wow, they did. Oh, it looks like it is going to be a night race. Oh, my goodness, Jason. They threw an audible on us, didn't they?
Charles threw a fastball on us right there, a curveball rather, because see his oh my goodness, his whole setup is set up for daytime imaging, and then when we go to on-track live activity, I knew he was thinking of something because he was like, "That's what you think," when we were sitting here saying it was going to be the daytime. So Wesley, this completely changes the picture. These guys practiced in the day, they qualified in the day. This is going to be very different here for them.
Well, I mean, I was looking at sim time, and it said 10 p.m., Pacific, and I'm like, okay, well, all right, that's Right, and then I'm like, okay, well, it's daytime, and did they change their mind? And by the way, we know several times, Jason, that they throw a monkey wrench in and they'll audible the schedule or audible the format or whatever. So I just kind of thought maybe that's what happened. It's your fault, Charles. Ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. This is it, the race, final race in the round of 8, round number 3. This is the chance to make it in if you're guys like Sean Brightsman, Dan West Jr. Enjoy the ride. Green flag goes in the air. We're underway 200 miles here at Sim City. Vegas is underway. We're green. And Sean Brightsman already in the big show from winning last week. Jason will haul her off in that teal, green, and white 46 to turn 1.
And here comes your second seed, or not second seed round, but second place, going for the race lead. He is 8th seeded coming into the night, 9 points out, needs every position that he can. We talked to Jeff Stabnow before this race here tonight, Wesley, and one thing that we usually don't really talk about, but it could very well come down to it, bonus points for leading laps. Sean Brightsman gets that one at the line, but Ryan Bloom trying to lead every lap because this race could come down to 1 point if you're in or if you're out.
Well, look at what happened, of course, on Monday night. The final spot was decided by the mere 2 top 5 finishes, better than father and son to make it to the championship 4. Keep an eye on all of this strategy. You see a lot of Christmas colors, if you will. Bah humbug. Let's cut the turkey first, all right? You see the red, you see the green, you see the blue, the gray. Gray is, what did you say to me, Charles? Wait your turn, fat man. I like that. Listen, you've got silver for guys that are on the outside looking in, but Jason, they're looking for wins to cap off the year. If you're in blue, you're right now in the cusp of making it in the championship 4. You're right there in 3rd and 4th of the bubble. If you're in red, you're on the outside looking in from 5th on back. And if you're green, baby, green, only 2, Brightsman, West, you're going to the championship race next week at Auto Club. Whatever happens tonight here in Sim City.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Wesley. Obviously, these guys are a little bit more spread out than I would say Kentucky was with the running order at the beginning of this race. So in my opinion, from what it looks like, these guys all were either very comfortable with their cars or just did not post very good lap times. I mean, look at Ryan Bloom. He's leading laps. Every lap he leads is a bonus point. And for a driver who is 8th in the standings coming into tonight, 9 points out, he needs every lap he can lead as he battles with Sean Brightsman down the back straightaway for the race lead into 3.
And there's Ryan Bloom. Remember what we told you about that driver, okay? Ryan Bloom, that is one of those drivers that are on the outside looking in. He's in that number 8 spot. That's why he's in red, man in red, not lady in red. And honestly, Jason, he's going to do any and everything he can to get around Brightsman. He's got to beat him. He needs a win. You got to win if you're in the red mark.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brightsman wants to come out here and completely strip a win away from Ryan Bloom there in that CLICKIT RV machine. And Ryan Bloom is saying, nah, man, it's my turn to win. Remember, Wesley, Ryan Bloom doesn't have a single win here in the series all year long.
That's right.
He's the only driver who doesn't have a win. DWJ, Sean Brightsman, both 5 apiece. Then the rest of the field, 1 win each. Ryan Bloom, not only is he looking for that first win this season, but he's looking for a trip to Auto Club next week for the championship 4.
It all hangs in the balance after tonight. Right now, working lap number 6 of 134 laps. And quickly, Ryan Bloom opens up that lead over Sean Brightsman by about a quarter of a second, not even less than that. It's a 10th. Then you got Kevin Smith. There's Kevin Smith, the 00, the Walla Walla Washington driver. Punched his ticket into the championship 4 with Win Racing last week. 3 out of the 4 drivers are Win Racing competitors. And now we see how it all shakes out tonight. Is right now 2 out of 4 spots, Jason, have been acquired for the CLICKIT series, for the Fix series, by Team LSRTV.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, too. You know, it's just been a race of consistency all season long, not only for both this series, but also the Monday series. Just being consistent, wanting to come out, finish well, pick up as many points as you can, lead as many laps as you can, get a win, obviously. You know, if you're Ryan Bloom, like I said earlier on, Wesley, you want to make it that you're going for 2 championships in 1 week next week. That would be awesome to see. So we're going to have to find out if Ryan Bloom can, in fact, capitalize on not necessarily a must-win situation, but which would definitely be a clutch scenario for him if he were to pick up this victory tonight.
Mile and a half here at the, of course, Las Vegas Motor Speedway Tri-Oval. Of course, 20 degrees of bank into the turns, 9 to 12 degrees of bank into the front of the back straightaway. All this working on as they close back into the start finish line. Another lap on the board here as we're working lap number 10. It's still Ryan Bloom, the leader. Sean Reitzman in the green light. He's in second. He's already got the win to advance to the championship race next week at Auto Club, along with partner Dan West Jr. on the outside of the top 5. Kevin Smith, Joshua Marcy, Tyler King, the top 5. It's West, as I mentioned. Toby Ritters, Ryan Gormley, Frank Harris, Dan Lowther, top 10, and all of a sudden now we're watching this battle heat up here going on in the top 10, Jason. It's Paulison up on the outside, Lowther on the bottom of the apron, and Newton's watching all this go on in front of him as he's one of those guys that need to have a good run, at least points-wise, advance to the championship round.
Yeah, there's a lot of battling going all over this racetrack right now, especially right here, like you were saying. Dan Lowther, Paul Newton, you see John Ottenbacher, or actually, is that John Ottenbacher? I believe that is actually the number 47. I keep thinking that Chris White is John Ottenbacher. Very similar paint jobs for that 47, and that obviously, machine of John Ottenbacher. But, I mean, he needs to get around this traffic. He needs to get up there as quick as he can. But the thing is here, Wesley, with Las Vegas, these tires wear very, very quickly. If you're not running that bottom, you are definitely sliding those tires and really wearing out that right front for sure off these corners. So Chris White needs to keep in mind of that, and he needs to be cool, calm, and collected and get to the front methodically. But quickly as he gets chopped off nearly there by Paul Newton off 4.
Working now, working lap 13. Remember, Monday night, this race went caution-free. And Jason, I'll be honest with you, buddy, this is exactly the way it's shaping up now in the early going. It happened just like this. These guys got all in line. They just got nip-tucked with one another. And I know these are cars, and these fixed setup cars are different than the open setup on the trucks. But, man, I'm telling you, I'm seeing deja vu here.
Yeah, definitely see deja vu for sure, and everybody is starting to get a little bit spread out right now, as you see down. Oh, Dan Lowther, what a save! Oh my goodness, that car snapped sideways nearly down that back straightaway and almost collected Paul Newton and Chris White, but he was able to save it. And I was just going to mention a bit ago, Wesley, this 63 machine looks very, very loose off the corner.
There's Lowther, there's Ryan Gormley. Don't count out Ryan Gormley, Jason. That's one of those drivers we mentioned that got one win on the year. On the outside looking in, the driver that picked up the checkered flag at Charlotte back in May, right before Memorial Day. Hey, by the way, speaking of the veterans, we remember you on Memorial Day. We also remembered you Friday for Veterans Day. Thank you for your service. Thank you for those men and women that have fought for our country and that have perished. And we thank you for allowing us to continue to have the freedoms to do what we do today, whether it's Memorial Day or Veterans Day. Thank you, soldiers. As Dan Lowther's in trouble. Drops to the bottom of the racetrack. He's off the pace. I think he about spun. I think he saves the 63, or he's off the pace at the bottom of the apron. He lost ground, though, Jason. This is worth a replay here. Dan Lowther either spun out and the camera didn't catch it. That was in live real time. One of the other cameras real. Or he literally was able to save that car, Jason, and keep going, and just fell back and lost spots on the 63.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy, too, that he was able to save it. You see him get a little loose again off turn number 2, but he was able to save it. No surprise, though, with the tires starting to go away here after 18 laps. You're going to see that. Oh, my goodness. What a save by the 63.
Even the dogs are barking in excitement because of what they just saw him saving. Wow.
Yeah, that was crazy right there for sure, no doubt about it. And you're going to see more and more that obviously as this night goes on, because you're going to have guys getting sideways off the corners. The tires are going to be wearing, and that's just going to be a product here of Las Vegas with this abrasive surface.
Getting ready to put lap number 20 on the board. This time by, we'll come back to our coverage again. Brian Bloom in the lead. Jason, I don't want to say I told you so, but you talked about it. I talked about it. The Cinderella tale continues here. You've got Brian Bloom, last man making it in. He's got no wins on the year, and right now he's in the lead in the 25 for Win Racing, might I add.
Yeah, Bloom is doing a great job right now out front here, just a little over half a second in front of Sean Brightsman. But again, this is a little bit of a longer race for these guys on this mile and a half. So, they're going to have to maintain these tires. We very well could see this race go green all the way to the end. But Brian Bloom needs to keep the tires on this thing. I cannot stress enough how important it is here, because this race can get very strung out, very spread out, and obviously it all comes down to tires and who has the most wear and who doesn't at the end of these things.
It's kind of crazy, but there is a strong possibility, like you said, that this could literally happen. Ryan Bloom, Sean Brightsman, Kevin Smith, Dan West Jr., Joshua Barnesy, top 5. Pick this battle down with the top 10 as they work down the Nellis straightaway. Everybody just kind of tucking in line, minding their P's and Q's, if you will, as there's Chris White. And Jason, there's a driver, Chris White for CWR Racing is in the top 10. He's in the red. Was going to be a contender in the Monday series. Work changed his schedule and commitments of being available or not. Had to bow out of the Monday program, and now he's trying to make a run towards the championship, if you will. He made it in, but right now the number 7 seed right on the outside looking in the red. In 10th.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Chris White is doing an absolutely great job right now, but he just needs to finish ahead of these guys. He needs to pick up as many points as he can. We talked about how if you are a driver in this round of 8, you need to come out and finish top 3 every single week for these 3 races. And these guys, some of them have not done that. Some have been fortunate enough, like DWJ and Brightson, to get those wins to lock them up. But if you're Chris White, like I talked about, you need to get up to this front. A caution would definitely help you, but if you know you don't have that long run speed, you might have to try to pull out a kind of different strategy than the rest of this field.
Bloom, Brightsman, West. Now those time drivers in green, 2nd and 3rd. There's Jeff Stabnow. Man, Jeff Stabnow, Jason, way behind the 8 ball. He's on the lead lap, but he's about 16 seconds back in the 24. And I hate to say this, but right now, championship hopes are dashing for the driver of the 24 right now. Number 3. He's number 3 coming into this race, but being in the back right now, not a smart thing unless he knows something we don't, Jason. This might be a bold strategy move.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. I mean, but at the same time, Jeff's lap times aren't really looking all the best right now. I mean, he's about a 32.2 last time around. Everybody else is running 31.9s and stuff like that. It's about 0.3 of a second nearly off the pace, because he's almost getting into 32.3s. Jeff is going to need to absolutely perform, no doubt about it, as he keeps on waiting to cross the line here. I mean, being 18 seconds back, that is a huge difference. He just crossed into the 32.3 bracket, so he is about 3, almost 0.4 off the pace, and he's going to have to pick this up for sure.
White inside, Gormley. They flip-flop, they battle for 9th and 10th. All of this going on as the laps continue to also tick-tock away here. 27 of 134 laps. Obviously, as you remember, no the option of one fast repair. Nobody really having any issues so far. The only excitement is with Dan Lowther when he about went around on the back straightaway. Close it in on 30 laps when they come back around. Ryan Bloom, Dan West Jr., Sean Brightsman, Kevin Smith, Tyler King. You read my mind, producer at the top of the hour. We'll pause for 10 seconds of network identification on CRN, the Community Radio Network. And for those that are watching on iRacing on LSRTV, the playoffs continue for the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Series from Vegas.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
We're a racing family that you can trust on and off the track. So if you're looking for foundation repair, go online or give us a call to schedule your free inspection. If we fix your foundation and you mention Race On Texas, you will get a 1-year free subscription to the All Access Pass.
At CLICKIT RV, we know there's a lot of heritage and history at this location. RV sales and service has been part of this community for decades. We knew there was an incredible opportunity here, but to see where we've come in just a year is incredible. None of it would be possible without the patronage and support from this community. So whether it be a more convenient and accessible service drive, a fully stocked parts department, or this amazing sales facility, what drives this team daily is making sure our customers leave here with the best possible experience.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
First caution of the race back here at Las Vegas. Yellow flag out on lap number 32, and we've got a replay for you of why we are under the yellow flag for the first time here tonight. Watch the 47, Christopher White, one of those drivers we mentioned, Jason, on the cusp of trying to get into the championship 4, alongside Ritters, the number 9 seed, Ryan Gormley, one of the guys that are also trying to make it in right now in 4th. Or 5th, excuse me, and nowhere to go. He hooked Gormley along with White. Gormley finally broke away, so get away from me, man. Chris White, though,
I want to see if...
Put in a thunder caution. 100 laps to go. We got cars on pit road.
I want to see if we can get another replay of that, because he got a little loose. But, I mean, I don't know if he got tagged from the rear there, so maybe if we can get another replay. I'd like to see him. That was an interesting situation.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe we can get a aerial view of what happened here.
He got tagged. He got tagged in the rear by Gormley.
Ryan Gormley got into the 47. That explains why they were already close together with one another. Boy, oh boy. Well, that's why we have what we have just take place. Caution flag out over the speedway. First one of the race. So much for a caution-free race. I tell you what, though, Jason, though, man, you got to give him props, though, man. They went, what, almost 34 laps? caution-free, 50 miles. I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to see, obviously. And you know something too, Wesley, just to make sure, or not make sure rather, but also mention the fact about those two guys tangling. It looked like there was going to be a hard hit for that 47, but good thing he didn't hit the inside wall any harder, or else that would have been significant damage to his machine for sure.
That's right. Hey, speaking of the playoffs, looking to get into producing or announcing, we got events coming up in the winter. Message us on Facebook or live simracingtv.com today to join your home for sim racing. And speaking of the playoffs as well, in addition to the Northwest playoffs for the trucks and the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fix Series, football playoffs on their way on the Community Radio Network. Friday night, our CRN broadcast crew are traveling to Pine Crest in Southern Pines, just outside of Pinehurst, where they used to have the PGA Pro-Am golf events as well. So that'll be Friday. CRN coverage begins at 6:30, kickoff at 7:30. Second round, Clayton Pinecrest winner advances into the third round to face either Millbrook or Cardinal Gibbons. We'll have it for you, the playoffs for the state championship on the Community Radio Network. And Jason, obviously, man, this has changed everything. We had the long green flag run. Obviously, Ryan Bloom did not want to see the caution come out, but it really didn't change anything for Ryan Bloom because he came in, pitted first, came out first. He's still in the lead.
Yeah, and that's really the great thing, obviously, about that caution flag, because, you know, it comes into the favor of Ryan Bloom and all those, you know, rest of the guys up front. So, I mean, you know, even though we're only 36 laps in, I know that there's still, you know, a little bit under 100 laps to go. But still, though, that definitely made it probably less stressful for them, knowing they don't have to do a green flag pit stop. It's always nice when you don't have a green flag pit stop that's coming up. I mean, unless you're banking on one, but definitely good for them. But, you know, we're going to see here. Maybe the rest of this race will go green. We're going to have to find out.
We'll see how it all shakes out. By the way, obviously, we could also see that that scenario of what do we always talk about, cautions, breeding cautions, as a possibility of something that could take place as well. 98 laps to go when the field comes back to the Geico restart zone. Lights are off on the iRacing Ford Fusion pace car, and we get ready to bring the pace car vehicle back down to the pit lane, 2x2x2. Let's set it up for you. Win Racing's Ryan Bloom on the top spot. Team LSRTV, Dan West Jr. On the outside, row one. Then you got LSRTV, Sean Reitzman, along with Win Racing's Kevin Smith, Win Racing Tyler King, Joshua Marcy, Paul Newton, Toby Ritters, Win Racing, Brett Johnson, Ryan Gormley, the top 10, top 5 rows. Green flag goes back in the air. Still a long way to go at Sim City. Virtual Las Vegas restart. Ryan Bloom needing a win, trying to win on a virtual prayer to go to the championship for Jason. He works his way to the Nellis straightaway with another great home shot off two.
He's got about 3/10 right now over DWJ, as DWJ is going to battle with CLICKIT RV's own Kevin Smith down into 3 and 4. They single file back out, and off turn number 4, Bloom going to lead yet another lap as Marcy looks to the inside of Sean Brightsman for position for the trial.
Another lap on the board as they work their way down the 9-degree French straightaway, 12 degrees on the back stretch of the Nellis straightaway at the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Down the Nellis straightaway, you're on board. Sean Brightsman sending it off into turn number 3 as we watch the JBR Toyota number 35, Joshua Marcy. In front of him, he looks a little loose there as he's also got Smith in front of that driver. Top 3 all driving different lines you're seeing from Brightsman as they work into one.
Yeah, Brightsman's just going to kind of run a little bit of a different line compared to Joshua Marcy, obviously. And you see right behind him, here comes Clifford. Toby Ritter's trying to make his way into this top 5. Everybody running some different lines, different entry points, different middles, different exits. A lot of different lines early on here in this race.
Cross the line, this time by it'll be lap number 39, hitting lap 40 when they come back to the line. Of course, as Jason mentioned, we are under 100 laps to go. final race. Jason, you know, man, we've been along for this journey, me and you have, every Wednesday night since, March, and I just can't believe just how fast the year's gone, and obviously this season, dude. I mean, we've had some really great, thrilling races. We've had some exciting moments, a lot of, first-time winners or drivers that are just have not won in a while that get back into winning again, and it's just really great to see the relationships that we built with these guys on the sim, no doubt, for this year. And obviously, as we wrap it up, we'll quickly look and anticipate to see what the plans are for next year, for 2024 and Season 5, if it comes back.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure it will be. This has been such a blast to call with you, Wesley. Both you, Terry, and others as well throughout the last now year and a half of calling this series. I mean, it's been a blast to call it. I remember the first race we called together was back at Richmond last year for the CLICKIT, or not the CLICKIT RV rather, but the Northwest Truck Series, and that was a blast to call. And Caden Anderson won that race. Chris White finished second, nearly an entire lap down. So it just goes to show you that the competition has definitely ramped up here in the last year and a half. You can just see how tight, how close it is, and how aggressive these guys can be with one another now.
Battle for the lead. Here comes Dan West Jr. Going after Ryan Bloom, down to the inside, working up the banking. 20 degrees into the corner here in Las Vegas. And down to the triangle, giving him plenty of room. Dan West Jr. below the apron. Can't clear the 25 of Bloom just yet. Has to close in under the rear deck lid of the car. Up the hill they go again into 1 and 2. He can't get him yet for the lead.
And Ryan Bloom is just trying to hold off this 55 the best he can. He wants to lead every lap he can. He wants to win to solidify himself into this championship 4. Remember, DWJ, he's already got a win. He doesn't need one. Yep. Ryan Bloom wants to take another opportunity away from DWJ and bring one home tonight, not only for the team, but also for himself to lock himself in to that championship 4 next week at Auto Club.
You know, you look at the, if you will, the momentum leading into the playoffs, especially in the round of 8 this round. Dan West Jr. won, of course, in Indianapolis. Okay, in the round of 12. Okay, now I'm going back to the round of 8. My apologies. Round 1 in the round of 8 was at Iowa. Dan West Jr. won that. Last week, Sean Brightsman won in Kentucky. And now, obviously, we're seeing West. Brightsman, by the way, is up to 5th. There you see a glimpse of his car. Ritters, Gormley, King, Newton behind him. All this going on now as they're working now, closing in on 50 laps in. And by the way, another thing that I noticed as well, Jason, as we're watching, hitting lap 50 of the event, we're starting to slowly but surely, if you want to show him, Charles, Jeff Stabnow climbing in the top 15 now. He was all the way in the back when the race started. He's now worked his way about a quarter of the distance through in that 24. And I don't know, again, whether his car's off strategy-wise, handling-wise, or he is doing what he needs to do to stay out of the cluster, if you will. As my friend Jimmy Spencer used to call, the snake's patch in the front of the pack, and be there at the end.
Yeah, everybody though right now is kind of just really all stretched out again, like we saw those first 30 laps of this race here as we worked on lap 48 now. You're noticing Toby Ritters, he's having himself a solid run, but he was running 6th. Now he's about 3 spots back there in that 9th position, falling up to Stephen Pollison, who's up in that top 10. Great run for that 58 Aerokinetics machine. And then there's Paul Newton, one of those guys who is up above the cutoff, looking to stay there. He's inside the top 10, but he's got guys in front of him who are below the cutoff running better than he is.
Ryan Bloom, Dan West Jr., Kevin Smith, Joshua Marcy, Sean Brightsman, top 5. There's the battle behind them of the rest of the top 10, including Brian Gormley, Tyler King, Toby Ritters, you see him, Stephen Paulson, Johnson, top 10. along with Harris, 11 and 12. And there's another battle brewing, going on. Best battle for fourth. Marcy Brightsman, Team Green trying to get into the top three. Works his way to the back straightaway.
Yeah, you see right now, there's Sean Brightsman working on the back bumper of Joshua Marcy, trying to get to his inside. This is the battle for fourth going on. Brightsman slides up just a little bit. Not enough off the corner as you ride on board with him right now. Brightsman's trying to find a way around once again, entering one. He's going to go to the bottom and take the bumpier route than the 35, running the middle, taking less bumps. He's going to get the run off the corner. He's going to clear Brightsman off two down the back straightaway.
Marcy on the outside, 50 laps into this thing here now. Here comes Brightsman on the bottom, diving in on the corner of the tribal. Working through turn 4, back to the inside, can't get the clear. Brightsman's gonna fight for it. It's Marcy with the momentum on the top. Can he rally back? He's got the momentum, but here's Brightsman on the bottom as they work out of two, Jason. They're gonna be side by side.
Back to single file now, down into 3. Brightsman taking another swipe at that 35 of Marcy, heading through 3 and 4. Just not enough off the corner. 35 able to run that top just a little bit better, but down the front straightaway, Brightsman looking for another way around. He's going to go to the bottom again, entering one this time.
I'll be honest with you, Marcy had to fight for that spot on the outside lane. Look at this 3-car battle. Possibly 5 if Ritters and Paulison can get into it. King inside of Gormley. Newton also. These are guys that are either in the playoffs or on the outside looking into the round of 8. Desperation time here at Vegas.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it here. It is desperation time, and it's been desperation time, Wesley, since probably lap number 1, if you think about it, because, I mean, like we talked about, how important leading laps and being up at the front was going to be, and you could just see, I mean, look at the top 10 right now. 3 of the guys who were outside looking in are all in the top 8. There was only one driver in the top 10 who was up above the cutoff line coming into this race who's running there, and that's Paul Newton. Jeff Stabnow is all the way in 14th. Chris White outside looking in. He's in 15th after spinning out a handful of laps ago with Ryan Gormley. This race has just been all over the place. It is definitely not like we saw last weekend at Kentucky, where the whole playoffs guys, they were all grouped up together in the top 10.
There you see King and Newton. They continue to still battle alongside one another. This is for 6th and 7th. Give Newton that spot now. Getting around King. And Marcy and Brightsman going right back at it again here. Newton around King, and there you go again. Paul Newton trying to go after the rundown for Marcy and Brightsman for this spot. For 4th and 5th, they're trying to get into the top 3, Jason. They're still 2 seconds or 2.5 seconds back to the leader as they're working one. Brightsman dives to the inside of the apron, going to the corner.
Well, I tell you what, battling side by side right now is not going to get you up to this front, but they're doing such a great job right now, battling, being clean, respectful, and that's exactly what you've got to do if you want good driver etiquette and you want to make sure that your competition knows, obviously, that you mean business and know that you have what it takes to be up at the front. But right now, being just a little bit more than 2 seconds back, Brightsman finally got around this 35 prior from running the bottom so much. I mean, he was able to save a little bit more tire. Marcy's running up towards the middle, and Brightsman's trying to set his sights now on Kevin Smith.
Bloom, West, Smith, Brightsman, Marcy, top 5. Here you see in the back, Tidrick. He's won here, by the way. Back in 2021, he won one of his 2 career Northwest Racing Series wins, was right here. 2nd one at Vegas. Right now, he's in the man of the top spot. You got, of course, Johnson right behind him. That's outside the top 10. There's Paulison in front of him. And Jason, obviously, you can crack the top 10 or more right now where those drivers are at. Is it right there at the conga line working off 4?
Yeah, everybody's just running single file right now, no doubt about it. You know, everybody's just kind of being in this conga line like you said, and now Marcy has fallen into the clutches of Paul Newton. He's going to look here to the inside, near contact, going into 1 and 2 right there, but they were able to keep it going, and you just see Marcy starting to struggle a little bit with that 35 machine.
Newton and Marcy. This is now to stay in the top 5. About 7 laps away to the halfway mark. Newton getting loose there. Almost tagged the back of the rear end of Marcy's car, working off 2 on the exit of the corner. And they hold it together now back to the straightaway into 3.
Yeah, you just see Marcy continuing to try to run that middle lane, but now he's kind of migrated a little bit more towards this bottom here. As you see Paul Newton trying his hardest to get to the bumper. He's going to look to the outside now. Newton going to use that middle to top group to get around Marcy. Remember, that's what Marcy was using to stay away from Brightsman. You can't really use that outside until you're on the long run with tires, and Marcy was up there before anybody else. So that's probably why you're starting to see him fade just a little bit more, because he used up more tire earlier this run.
Currently Bloom the leader. Look at now, this battle continue. This is for Newton inside the lap car. Multiple laps down to Troy Daggett. Continuing the battle. Calm, cool, collective right now, if you will, as here comes Newton. Again, in that 5th spot, Marcy losing ground. Honestly, things quieted down. Jason, I'll be honest, in about the next 20 laps or so, I think we could start to see a possibility of green flag pit stops around lap 80, 85 to really shake up the, if you will, the strategy of this race. A long green flag run again.
Yeah, more than likely. I mean, we're just going to have to obviously find out and see, you know, what's going to happen and everything like that. But I mean, this has just been an interesting race to say the least for sure. I mean, again, not like it was last week in Kentucky where it was long, strung out. We had a couple of cautions, obviously. And this race, it's showing a lot of shades of Homestead. We have that one caution so far, but you're seeing these guys really running single file. You're seeing a couple of positions get battled for right now. Marcy continuing to fall back a little bit, but really I think this is probably going to become a game of pit strategy here, like Vegas usually is here, Wesley.
Virginia811.com race summary so far. 1 caution, 4 caution lap, 1 leak change. As it stands right now, let's go inside the broadcast booth as we're getting ready to come to the cross flags here in just about another lap or so to go to the halfway mark of this event. As we welcome you back inside. Of course, I am Wesley Outland, Jason Rockefeller alongside as here we go. Charles Booth call back up now. We're all just trying to find the battles here and keep you up to date on what's going on. And honestly, Jason, a long green flag run as we go into the LSRTV mid-race report. 1 caution, we saw that happen right during a commercial break, and ever since then it's been a pretty calm, cool, collective run. Oh, and by the way, between Dan West Jr. and Ryan Bloom, it's winner take all right now. Those are your 2 fastest cars I believe we're seeing on the racetrack. Your thoughts, bud?
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Bloom is faster than DWJ by about 0.2 of a second last time around. There's only 2 cars really that are running in the 32.0s right now. Paul Newton was the fastest car around the racetrack last lap by almost a 32 flat. And Ryan Bloom was running a .086. So those two cars look to be strong. I think Paul Newton, with that plus 13 positions he's gained so far, Wesley, in this race, he could be the favorite. And I know that's a stretch. And I know everybody's probably like, oh, Jason, what are you thinking? Ryan Bloom has dominated this race. DWJ dominated this race. Well, 13 positions gained on a long run with stretched out is not easy to accomplish. And with the lap times that he's running, he was the only one last time around to crack under a 31.9. That is huge, considering the fact the leader is running 2 to 3 tenths slower than he is. So I think if Paul Newton were to time the pit stops properly, leapfrog, try to gain some time, he's 3.5 seconds back, watch out for that Paul Newton's designs machine.
I know you're mentioning Paul Newton, but what about guys like Gorley, King, White, and Ryan Bloom? Obviously, Ryan Bloom's the shocker of everybody. Here you go, number 1 seed, trying to battle and do whatever he can to win this race. He has to do that, right, Jason? There is no tomorrow. And he's looking for that first win of the year.
Yeah, he's looking for that first win of the year, and he just has to keep doing what he's been doing all night, keeping that 2 to 2 second gap between him and DWJ. But again, I am saying if this comes down to strategy and Paul Newton's smart and decides I'm going to come into the pits early, Ryan Bloom better make sure that he's crossing his fingers tightly, because it is going to be very hard to take Paul Newton out of this equation just from the lap times that he has been running here these past few laps. He's definitely got that long run ball.
Is there anybody else, Jason, that might be on the outside looking in besides Ryan Bloom that I think we should possibly keep an eye on, you believe?
Looking up at the leaderboard right now, I mean, I would probably say maybe BJ Tidrick. He's up 12 spots from where he started. He's inside the top 10 there in the 9th position in that In-N-Out burger machine, like he always is every single week, week in and week out. Maybe sure. BJ Tidrick is kind of like an underdog here. I mean, one caution, one pit stop, and gets the yellow at the right time. He's right there, man. He's right there, and he's got a fast car. So I'm thinking he's probably my underdog. I think Paul Newton's the guy you want to watch for, but Ryan Bloom is definitely the man on the mission right now, probably my pick.
And I'll be honest, if you're watching besides Ryan Bloom, anybody right now behind 5th on back, literally still a long way to go in this race, has a chance. I'm going to tell you something. Keep an eye on Jeff Stabnow. There might be some strategy into what the 24 is doing. Maybe Charles can give us an update on pit lane. Maybe the car might be having a handling issue. I don't think that, because I think he's just strategically trying to get himself into this run. As you see him right now in the pack racing back in within the top 10. He's Jason, I'm Wesley. That's been your LSRTV mid-race report update as we go back to on-track activity here. And there is Jeff Stabnow. As I just mentioned, just cracked the top 10, Jason. He started this race mid-pack in the 20s. And now he is starting to show momentum. Here comes the 24 from Billings, Montana. And here comes green flag pit stops. I think Chris White's going for the undercut about 10 laps before anybody else pits. Here comes the 47. Cons is in as well in 20.
Yeah, no doubt about it for Chris White. He needs this undercut, and he's going to take that fast repair, actually. The one fast repair that these guys are allowed to have. Chris White just took it. He said, I'm done. I'm done riding around. This race looks like it's going to go green. I'm going to take that fast repair with the damage to his right rear from that wreck, same with the right front. And the 47 machine is off and away, trying to bank off strategy here in the second half of this race.
I was thinking that pit road would open around 80, 85, 90, around that time stretch, somewhere around there. We would see the green flag pit stops. Big undercut by Chris Kynes, but especially CWR Racing number 47, Chris White, to come down to the pit lane. Now the question is this, Jason, with seeing what White just did, does anybody else say, hey, I might need to do what he's doing here? I might need to possibly get ahead of the leader, Ryan Bloom?
Possibly. I mean, if you're far back, I don't think that it's going to really play in your favor. But if you're a driver maybe like Paul Newton, Kevin Smith, Sean Breitzman, easily you could probably, when this pit window fully opens up, try that undercut, go down pit road, take 4 fresh tires and obviously come out and try to get ahead of the leader, because I mean the fastest lap time was a 30.313 by DWJ. He is running a 32.1. That is nearly 2 seconds of fall off. And I mean, 1 lap difference could get you 2 seconds. And if you're Sean Brights, when you pit before the race leader a lap or 2 early, that's 2 seconds gain. And you could very well take this lead.
While all of this is going on, while all of this is transpiring, you are still continuing to watch this battle that is monumental, if you will, continuing to see how this all shakes down. Again, these drivers got to fight and they got to claw. They'll do whatever they can do to put themselves in the win column, especially if you're on the outside looking in, because as he and Jason mentioned, and I say this intently, not as a repeated and broken record, there is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow, Jason, if you do not get into the championship 4. Your quest for a championship is done. And you got to literally just hopefully look for a checkered flag next week and force it on as well.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing, obviously, for, you know, some of these guys. They need to just come out here, have good runs, but obviously, if you're drivers like Stephen Collins and Toby Ritter's Brett Johnson, you're just coming out here, man, you're trying to have fun. You're trying to perfect your racecraft. Make sure you become a better driver. Every race, every lap you run, you're going to make yourself a better driver here on the sim. And these guys are just going out here. They want good runs. They want to finish first. They want to finish up in the top 3. They got 2 races left with this one here tonight, and next week at Auto Club to try to get it done. We're going to have to see what they do here tonight and next week.
Brian Bloom still continuing to be the man to hit his mark and lead the way. Obviously, sometime now we're going to see the pit lane open. And when it does, money stop. And here's another thing, Jason, as everyone else that mentioned this. When they do come down the pit lane, I don't know why. It sounds like it's okay on my book. Jason, let me reset again. I guess I'm saying I got a muffled mic. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'll be right back.
Well, some technical difficulties for us up here in the booth, but, you know, like Wesley's saying, you know, the pit stop's coming up, you know, and this is the thing, folks, about these pit stops coming up. This could be what will make or break your season. If you're a driver like a Ryan Gormley, like a Jeff Stabnow, you need to time your pit stop perfectly, and we're already seeing some pit stops now. Ryan Bloom, Jeff Stabnow, Kevin Smith coming into the pits. They're going to try to bank off this one right here on lap 84. Ryan Bloom said, "Nuh-uh, nobody is going to outrun me," and take the undercut. He decides to be the first one to elect to start these cycle of green flag pit stops here. He's going to take 4 fresh tires and fuel, and right behind him is his Win Racing teammate of Kevin Smith, CLICKIT RB Zone. Here comes DWJ. He's into the pits now this time.
Pit stops open. Here comes the cavalry on pit road. I can tell you this, Charles, 3 times the VMix keeps freezing on my end, and I don't know if it's on the internet or whatever it's doing. So Dan West Jr. on pit road. Here comes the 55. Here's the money stop, Jason, as we mentioned, sometime between 85 to 90. Everybody is coming in. Remember what we mentioned about the undercut. Can Chris White capitalize on this, man? Because it looks like almost every car is pitting in front of him.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too, is obviously, you know, Chris White, he decided to elect to come in early, so he's going to leapfrog to the front, but he's going to be on significantly older tires than the rest of this field. But it just goes to show you that those 2 seconds are super valuable. Notice how once Ryan Bloom came into the pits, everybody and their mothers followed them into the pits that last time around, the last 2 laps rather. Now, there's only a handful of drivers who are out there who haven't pit yet. I mean, you look at the lap times And obviously, it's a big, big difference. You have Brightsman, Newton, Johnson, Paulison, Nichols. They last been lap 33.
Monkey see, monkey do, as they say. And right now, Brightsman in the top spot now, waiting to see when Brightsman and Newton are going to peel onto the pit lane right now. As it stands, top 5 need to pit. When they do, Ryan Bloom will go back in the lead. Here comes Paul Newton. He's in. 27 Newton on pit road.
Here comes Paul Newton, one of those guys talked about how maybe he was going to try the undercut, wasn't able to do it, stayed out for a few laps. Now he finds himself in the pits. Maybe this is all part of the plan. We're going to have to see Stephen Paulison following him in the Aero Kinetic car. He's going to come into his box, stop for his 4 fresh tires and Sunoco Racing Fuel. We're going to have to see where Paul Newton shakes up after this one.
The money stop into the round of the championship round of 8. Who's going to the championship 4? We know Sean Brightsman is in. He's coming now. Well, Brett Johnson on pit road. Here comes now Paulison on pit exit. We still await 3 more cars as Johnson just pitted. Sean Brightsman, Gary Nichols. Right now, 1 and 2. When they pit, it will cycle back around as well. Johnson never shot his pit stall. All the while, look at Ryan Bloom battling alongside Sean Brightsman to get back on that lead lap there in the 25. 3, how about this, Jason? 3, only 3 cars on the lead lap right now. That's it. Nichols is in.
And this is all based off strategy right here, Wesley. Everybody, like we talked about earlier in this race, we're going to come down and pit at some point at a different time, and that's exactly what you're seeing right now. Sean Brightsman into the pits this time by. He's going to try to go for the longer distance actually here on this set of tires probably, and finds himself into the pits this time by. Going to try to take a few lap fresher tires.
Here's the deal, Jason. Ryan Bloom has about a 15 second differential, and it is ending quickly. Ryan Bloom is going to go back to the lead. Sean Brightsman will fall back to second. The question is, though, how far back will Brightsman go? This strategy works out perfect for the 46 because he's literally going to be second, third, fourth, fifth. He's still in the top 10 as he comes off of pit road.
Yeah, and that's the thing now. He's just got to get up to speed and make sure he is quick about it. I mean, you look at most of these guys up inside of the top 10. Brightsman pits on lap 90. Everybody else around lap 83, 84. So he's going to have a few lap fresher tires. I just don't know if it's going to make a significant amount of difference.
The money stop has happened. Ryan Bloom, the number 8 seed, trying to win and make it into the championship 4 by doing it. This is shades of what Christopher Bell did last year. If you remember Charlotte and the Roval, or what he did at Martinsville when, of course, Ross Chastain did the Hail Melon to make it into the championship 4. When Christopher Bell needed to win, and he did that. Ryan Bloom is doing the same thing here in this night for the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fix Series, Jason. Number 8 seed, nobody would probably say, hey, you're out. You ain't got a chance. There's a chance when you see that 25 out there. Ryan Bloom is a talented man. He's really come a long way in his racing, iRacing credentials.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. Ryan Bloom, like we talked about, he is in the championship 4 for the Monday side of things. This would be amazing if he were to come here, win this race, and lock himself in basically a clutch scenario. Not a must-win, but a clutch scenario, and make it into that championship 4s. Oh, Chris White into the wall off turn number 2, smacks it. It just goes to show you that those older tires definitely hindering the Chris White machine.
Of course, the man that works for Edward Jones, Illinois State University, obviously a Boise State fan. Loves the Boise State Broncos is what I meant to say. Just a great guy that we've come to know over the years, Ryan Bloom has been. And it would be phenomenal to see if he could, like you said, be the only driver that could punch his ticket into the championship for both series, but also, Jason, in addition to that, for Win Racing, for Win Racing as well.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt about it, obviously, and it's just been such a great season for Win Racing, and obviously also Team LSRTV. They've practically dominated this season. They have so many cars out on the racetrack. Those two teams have definitely been the most dominant all year long.
Kind of reminds me of like the virtual Monday Night Wars between WWE and WCW. It's kind of the same way as the Northwest have had their, if you will, NWO and Win Racing and the Team LSRTV, obviously, going at it week in, week out. And I'm not taking anything away from the drivers on the other leagues or the talents of what they've done either, Jason, for sure. But make no bones about it. It's not a mistake. It seems like every week it's down to Win. Excuse me. It's down to Win Racing and Team LSRTV as we're approaching lap 100.
Yeah, it usually always is every single week here. So, I mean, we're just going to have to see, obviously, how it plays out, who comes out on top at the end of the season with a championship, possibly. But it's all going to come down to this race, obviously, to see who's going to be that Final Four by the end of this race.
Obviously, let's think about this too, Jason. I know it was before your time, buddy, but I want to go back to, oh my goodness, I'm going to go back to 2020.
Season of Northwest competition that we have seen in quite some time.
My goodness, you don't think this year was? Was fun for sure. We've definitely enjoyed having you join us in your living room or at home or however you join us. Charles Wooten has done a phenomenal job as always with the sight and sounds and the graphics and all the video. And we're closing in on 33 to go, 32 at the line, and ready to settle this one here. Ryan Bloom, Dan West Jr., all race long. One caution, by the way. Real quickly, Charles, put it up there. Virginia811.com race summary. Eating ice cream. Charles is eating ice cream. 4 lead changes,
okay,
4 caution lap. 1 total caution that's been in. And Jason, I'll be honest with you, man. I literally would say this race would probably be very different if we didn't have that yellow flag come out around 35.
Yeah, definitely. I would say so, probably. We very well could be looking at a very different outcome, obviously, in this race. But, the caution obviously played dividends for some guys, but it also really didn't shake up the field mostly. So we're just going to have to see, obviously, how this race plays out. We're just about to hit 30 laps to go next time around. So, I mean, this race isn't over. One caution, and this race gets flipped upside down.
Watching all of this going on. Remember, 30 laps to go when they come to the line. Next Monday night. Next Wednesday night. It all comes down to this. The 4 drivers for the Northwest Truck Series presented by CLICKIT RV and the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series championship rounds. Next Monday and Wednesday night. By the way, Jason, we've done the Northwest, big races this year, but we've also got the FEG, the fake PC components Monday night or Wednesday night Big Money Super Speedway Series. Round 1 was tonight in Talladega. That was a very entertaining race won by Andrew Navarro, and I think we're going to really enjoy those in the booth on Wednesday nights now during the winter.
Yeah, and I encourage everybody to.
So again, Jason, what off season? At least for iRacing on LSRTV for sure.
Yeah, definitely not a huge off season for us. We're still going to be doing a lot for us. It's really just an off season for us, mainly for here. I mean, you think about it, the Northwest is really what this broadcast team has been built around here the last few years. And I mean, this is like our off season, but we still do a lot in the off season. We did some stuff last year, and we're going to be doing a lot here this year, and I'm really excited for it. And I also cannot wait for 2024.
They're going to be really fun for sure. Well, Ryan Bloom is literally hitting his marks. The interval is 2.3 seconds behind Dan West Jr., which really doesn't matter because obviously we know he's going to the championship with Sean Brightsman, who, by the way, is in fourth. So really there's no desperate moving by any of those drivers. But Jason, I think it's suffice to say Stabnow could be out. I mean, right now he's in the top 15, and he's currently was number 3. Newton is ahead of him. It was mere points on separation going into it. If something's going to happen to put these guys in a different catbird seat to make it to the championship 4, it's going to happen. It's going to happen now because literally Dan West Jr.'s in. We know this. Sean Brightsman's in. Jason, number 8 seed, winning automatically. Ryan Bloom, if he does win this race, red's going to become green. So 3 drivers in by wins in the playoffs, and then you got to see who gets in by points. And I literally think Paul Newton is probably in a better spot than Jeff Stabnow is on the outside looking in.
Yeah, probably for sure. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if you're one of these guys on the outside looking in, you had to come in here, you had to perform tonight. And unfortunately, it just really hasn't been that way for some of these guys here tonight. I mean, like I said, anything could still happen. This race is not over. I mean, one quick caution in this race could turn around very, very quickly.
Ready to bring this one to the finish. We're also closing in on the top of the hour. We'll pause for 10 seconds of network identification on CRN and take you to the checker. 20 to go at Sim City.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
The penultimate race of the regular season and the whole season with the playoffs in the round of 8, final race of the year. Championship 4 will battle at Auto Club next Monday and Wednesday night for the Northwest. Welcome to coverage. LSRTV, CRN, your home for sim racing. I'm Wesley Outlet, Jason Rockefeller, alongside Charles Wooten, clicking the buttons in the CLICKIT RV production studio. And Jason, obviously, somebody, anybody, can you go after Ryan Bloom? I think Ryan Bloom is on a mission. We kind of set the stage that it could possibly become a fruition. He's trying to make it a darn virtual reality.
Yeah, it's a possibility, obviously. I mean, he's just been doing so good here tonight. Putting on a clinic, basically. I mean, he has over a 2.5, almost 3-second gap on DWJ. It's just what a night it would be to pick up your first win of the season and obviously make it through into that championship 4 if you're Ryan Bloom.
The Northwest Racing Series obviously will come back for season 11 with the trucks. That's the premier program. And then, of course, I don't know if we're going to bring back Cup, if they're going to do another program, if they're going to bring back this fixed series, ARCA. And Jason, there's so many scenarios we could choose from because obviously iRacing is continuing to expand. It's getting bigger. You never know, the Northwest might have a short track series during the winter. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. You never know what these powers that be will put together. And one of the reasons they normally do like a winter series is to keep everybody fresh. Keep everybody, maybe Charles was saying a winter series or some big races, maybe just a couple of big races during the winter time. And obviously there's that to prevent lack of communication, Jason. But also, it is in addition to that to stay fresh, continue to race, continue to be ready to go whenever March gets here again and we start the road to Daytona.
Yeah, and obviously, I talked about earlier about how these guys, they just need to really run their own race, and every race is really a way to perfect your racecraft. I mean, you have to run very well, and if you're not running the best right now, go out in the off-season, run some races. If Northwest isn't going to provide anything, go out, run some races, perfect your racecraft, because every race, every lap matters to perfect that racecraft and make you a better driver here in the sim.
Been a good one. And right now, there you see the 25, Ryan Bloom, looking to be the only driver to be in the championship for both the Northwest Truck and Cup Series, as well as Jason, I'm sorry, for the Truck Series, my apologies, as Jason just reiterated on. He's right now put himself into that spot where he literally can possibly win both championships. Oh, and by the way, Jason, we didn't even mention this, my friend. Ryan Bloom is in the number 1 spot.
Yeah, and I mean, like we've talked about, Ryan Bloom came out here and has done exactly everything that he needs to do right now. Started on the front row. He has stayed up in the front pretty much all race besides green flag pit stops. I mean, this 25 has just been on rails tonight, and for a fixed setup series, Ryan Bloom has definitely put in a lot of practice, and he has mastered the fixed setup here tonight.
7, count them, 7 wins in the Northwest Truck Series for the number 1 seeded driver, for Ryan Bloom. He's number 8 in the seeding. No wins this year. 7 poles, 6 top 5s, and 10 top 10s. Looking finally to break through into the win column, and it is also in the final race to pull a Hail Mary, if you will, to advance to the championship 4. Ryan Bloom doing just that. He's in the lead. Time running out. Shades of the hourglass running short, if you will. 12 to go to the Nellis straightaway. The 25 is.
And you're seeing Ryan Gormley battling with BJ Tidrick right now. Down into 1. Gormley trying to pick up every position that he can. Looking on the inside of BJ Tidrick here. Entering 1 and 2. Not enough that time off the corner. Tidrick using that outside lane to the advantage to get that momentum off the corner right now as he heads down the back straightaway, entering 3. And Kevin Smith, I don't know if something just happened to Kevin Smith. He has dropped tremendously. Now he's back. Probably a connection issue, if I had to guess, with the 00 machine. That shades of most of the season for him.
Well, Smith obviously not into the running for the championship for the Northwest CLICKIT RV Series. Now, he is in the running for the championship, obviously, with the trucks. And right now, we watch all of this transpire as it looks like it's going to be Dan West Jr. in second, Sean Brightsman third. Those drivers in second and third on the racetrack watching Ryan Bloom, or at least trying to run down Ryan Bloom. But honestly, Jason, you got 2 guys, yes, they want to win, but they ain't got nothing to fight for. And I say that in the most positive manner because they've done their job. They know they're in the championship race at Auto Club. There's not a desperate move to try to run down the 25. Ride and drive as we go to single digits, 8 to go at the line. And literally, you just stay in your position, hold your line, and go to the finish of the race. Bottom line.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, you want to come out here, you want to finish well, but, you don't want to risk, obviously, pushing the issue, causing caution, frustrating your fellow competitors. Yeah, big picture for sure. Ryan Gormley, he's trying to pick up as many positions as he can, but he can't push the car to a certain point where he knows he's going to burn up his stuff, he's going to risk wrecking himself. He already basically wrecked once here tonight. Definitely would not want that again if you are the number 22 this year.
Brian Bloom, Dennis Moore, Kevin Smith, Devin West will battle for the Northwest Truck Championship 4 next Monday night. And right now, the Championship 4 for the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series. Wednesday, both races at Auto Club next Monday and Wednesday night. Dan West Jr., Sean Brightsman. I'm thinking possibly Paul Newton. And obviously, you're going to put Brian Bloom in. If he can hold on, 7 to go. Anything can happen though, Jason. He could hit the wall. Something could happen to the car on the 25. You know, obviously, I think they're going to go on fuel. I would probably say he's probably coasting, not going as fast as he's been going. But Brian Bloom, just don't make any mistakes. Here you see Kevin Smith back on track. He fell back about 7 seconds. He's in the top 5. There's the 25 of Bloom.
Yeah, and Ryan Bloom, if you're him, you're just hoping, praying that there's no yellow. You just want to make it to the end of this race right now. Dan West Jr. a little bit faster, but he has to make up over 3.5 seconds on you, man. You just got to coast around and hope that no yellow comes out.
5 laps to go for the Boise State Broncos. CLICKIT RV Win Racing Bomb Speed number 25. Hitting his marks perfectly. Working off the corner, down to the line this time by 4 laps to go from the flag stand. And Brian Bloom less than 8 miles away, or 6 miles away, Jason, to a punch ticket from number 8 seed to a number 3 seed onto the Championship 4. And he'll be doing it for both next Monday and Wednesday to win the title for Win Racing to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, what a drive all season long for Ryan Bloom to not have 1 year in the bank all season long to now, obviously, this has got to feel good if you're the driver for Win Racing in this number 25 machine, getting ready to win your first race of the season and lock yourself in to the Championship 4.
Winning your first race and also pulling a Hail Mary. That's the equivalent of what we're seeing right now. You're seeing a man that was literally probably written off. Hey, man, he's 8th. He don't have a chance. He's going to be done at the end of this race. Well, guess what? He literally is going to get that first win. He can hold on. 3 to go. 2 to go here at the line. 2 laps to go for the number 25. If he can get it done. Win number 1, as you mentioned, Jason, of the year. And the former Northwest ARCA champion of 2021 will now join the drivers of Dan West Jr., Sean Brightsman, thinking possibly Paul Newton or Jeff Stabnow. We'll find out, buddy. White flags in the air as they come off turn 4.
White flag for sure for Ryan Bloom and the 25 machine. A season with a lot of what-ifs for the driver of the number 25. No wins this year. And coming into tonight, he's heating up at the right time, looking to go to victory lane for the first time this season, and looking for a trip to Auto Club next week to compete for a title.
Ryan Bloom works his way through turns number 3 and 4, off the banking, working through the tri-oval. Ryan Bloom, you punched your ticket in not only in the Truck Series, but also the Fixed Series on Wednesday night. Win Racing's only driver, Ryan Bloom, will battle Wednesday and now Monday for the championship at Auto Club in that 25. He wins tonight at Las Vegas. First win of the year. And Jason, as you mentioned, a hell of a drive for the 25.
Absolutely heating up at the right time, right when he needs to. And just what an pure, incredible amount of talent tonight to come out here and show your competitors, hey, I'm here to compete for a title. I don't care if I only have 1 win this season, man. I'm here to win. I'm here to compete. And he did just that.
Burning it down, and oh, Kevin Smith with a T-bone shot. How you like your steak, medium rare? Oh, my goodness. There's Dan West Jr. throwing a hit in there. Damn, Ryan Blue's already upside down. Oh, no! Ryan Gormley. Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you something, Jason. I think Ryan Gormley mathematically is going to be eliminated as well. Don't count out the efforts on the prodigy, that young man in the 22. I think he's going to be somebody to watch in the Northwest for years to come.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. We're obviously going to have to check the point standings here when they do update at the end of this broadcast. So, should be interesting to see who made it into tonight.
Unofficially, I'm going to say Dan West Jr., Sean Brightsman, Ryan Bloom, and possibly Paul Newton. I think Paul Newton finished better than Jeff Stabnow did. We'll see how it all shakes out here by virtue of positions. Here is the unofficial results tonight for the final race of the round of 8 and moving into the championship round. Auto Club next Wednesday night. Ryan Bloom, the winner. Dan West Jr., Sean Brightsman. Ironically, 1, 2, 3. Those drivers, 1, 2, 3, going to the championship round. Ironically, I'm thinking Paul Newton's taking care of Jeff Stabnow, so possibly 1, 2, 3, 4 for the championship 4. Kevin Smith, 5th. Tyler King, 6th. Joshua Marcy. Ryan Gormley, I think he's going to be out of it. BJ Tidrick with a solid top 10. And Stephen Paulison for Aerokinetic Sim Sports. Jason, a top 10 as well.
Yeah, just a huge moment for a lot of drivers here tonight. You have the rest of the top 20. Or rather, the rest of the field. Jeff Stabnow, P11, Brett Johnson, 12th. Ritters, 13th after a solid beginning of the run here tonight for him. Frank Harris, Dan Lowther, first car, 1 lap down, 15th. You have Christopher White on a really huge night for him. Needed to have a good run. Just wasn't there like he had been all playoffs long. He'll come home 16th. Gary Nichols, 17th. Bartlett, Daggett, Kind, your top 20. And then the rest of the field, James Vining, Carl Burke, Ray Fournier, the number 26 machine.
There you go. That's the way it finishes. And Jason, by the way, buddy, I was correct. It is official now. It will be Paul Newton joining the 3 winners of Dan West Jr., Sean Brightsman, and Ryan Bloom. 2 points out was the separation between Ryan Bloom and Jeff Stabnow. Wow. 1 caution in this race. I think it changed the entire strategy of everything. But, of course, 4 caution laps, 4 lead changes. Bottom line, at one time, Dan West Jr. looked good. But then when Ryan Bloom broke through, there was no looking back. He's going to the championship 4 for both the Northwest Racing Series truck and Xfinity B-Series for the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Wednesday night show. Next Monday, Wednesday night, right here, LSRTV and CRN. We are taking a break. Coming up, the Press Box Motorsports podcast post-race wrap-up. We'll grab the top 3 and Ryan Bloom next from Vegas. Welcome back to virtual Las Vegas as the final race in the round of 8 has concluded. Your final 4 are set. Ryan Bloom, obviously, as we mentioned, Jason, committing the virtual Hail Mary of sim racing, if you will, being on the outside looking in, looking to be written off. Number 8 seed, no chance of getting in, no wins on the year. He goes on, wins the race, final race of the regular season, puts himself in the playoff final race, and now moves into the championship 4. Only driver, by the way, this year for Win Racing to be also in both drivers in the championship races as well. We'll grab him in just a moment. First off, let's grab first the number 4 seed, and had actually finished 4th on the racetrack. Paul Newton had a battle amongst you and Jeff Stabnow. It looked like Jeff was not on his A game. He struggled all night, fell back. He was all the way in the back,